Hey, how's it going? Welcome to this very scuffed vinyl update video. I picked up some records recently and I just felt like showing you on video. That would be kind of fun. So I've got 5 records and it's a pretty diverse mix. Let's get straight into the first one, which is Numbskull, Ritually Abused. I do apologize for the very scuffed setup, but this is as good as I can do. I can't even show the full cover with this setup, but anyway. It's all about the music, it's not about the visuals, right? So if I have to describe this record in like one word, it would probably be just sick. Like this record, it took one listen to put this into the favorites. It just popped up in my YouTube recommended and the album cover like really caught my attention. I thought, this looks like some old school thrash or death metal. I'll check this out. And I pretty much got both. This is like just an absolute death thrash classic. It's really bordering on death metal, but musically it's pure thrash. It's really fast and technical, but it's not afraid to like slow things down to like a head nodding kind of a pace with some like incredibly catchy riffs. There's so many great riff ideas on this one. It's absolutely amazing. Oh my god, that mix of just really fast riffs with like slow, like really juicy chucking riffs. Oh my god, it's so good, man. One thing I meant to say but it slipped my mind is that the transitions on this album are just so good. Like they'll often play like really fast and then just seamlessly slip down into this really groovy yet similar riff. And it's just so killer, man. Like my neck feels sore by the time I'm finished with this record. Like there's so many great ideas on it. Like on the title track, Ritually Abused, there's this riff towards the end, which is just so incredibly catchy. And there's this like metal drumming sound, which I imagine they made by just drumming on like the middle sides of the drums. It's so off the wall. I just love it. And the vocals are just absolutely amazing. Like the guy can do some horrifying shrieks that just gives you chills, man. Like think Chuck Schuldiner from Death, but just like turned up to 11. And it just more so sounds like he's maniacal more than he's in pain. That's this guy. He's clearly inspired by Chuck, I feel like. That's what he reminds me of anyway. But yeah, he has his own way of doing things. And he even also does some like heavy metal kind of shrieks. And this is the 2014 reissue of the album. Really happy with it. Got it really cheap. This one popped up and I just had to get it. So yeah, I don't really feel like pulling out the vinyl and the lyrics sheet because I can't really see what I'm doing here. I have this massive setup in front of me and I don't want these to be too long, you know. But it's just a regular like black vinyl. When I got this record, it was still shrink wrapped, so it's never been played. But it did say mint condition on the cover, which is, I don't know if you can see it on this shitty camera, but there's quite a bit of a like bend here in the corner. And some like creases here in the corners aren't perfect. But I don't mind it, you know. The record is unplayed, whatever, man. I did get it pretty cheap, so, but this is definitely not a mint jacket condition. Alright, next up we got something very different. Christy Burgh, Into the Light of Christy Burgh. This is a pop rock or soft rock or pop record. There's the guy right here. Well, you probably know a song from here because it's got the Lady in Red on it, which is a massive hit. But I would definitely say that it's one of the weaker songs in the tracklist here actually. Like there's so many great tracks on this one, like Last Night, Fire on the Water, Ballroom of Romance, goddamn. Fatal Hesitation, One Word Straight to the Heart, and The Closer, which is like this 3-piece that like flows into each other. Really just like ties the album up in a neat bow. Really brings home all the lyrical themes and it's just really satisfying musically as well. Just such a good closer on this one. The only track I am not really... The more I listen to it, the more annoying I find it is Fatal Hesitation. No, I meant to say The Spirit of Man, not Fatal Hesitation. All my homies love Fatal Hesitation. Still a really great record. This one was really cheap. I got this for the price of a CD. And this is an 86 press. So from the like one of the original presses. I got this for the price of the CD and this was actually one of the more expensive ones. So an absolute steal. I'm happy with it. There's so much detail and variety in the instrumentation on this one. And I just really love it. And Christy Burgh's voice, I just really like his voice, man. He's just can make every chorus amazing and just super catchy. Love this album, absolutely love it. Don't care what anyone says. This one I am so stoked to have. Devastation, Idolatry. Wait, hang on. I didn't pull it out. Well, I guess we can take a look at this then. But it says here. Wait, hang on. Okay. Let me actually read this. Devastation's third full-length album, Idolatry, is perhaps one of the top 5 death thrash albums ever written. Deliver the Suffering, along with the rest of the album, is nothing but a straight headbanging, thrashing mayhem from start to finish. And I would definitely agree with this, except for one thing. It's not the top 5 death thrash, it's just in general one of the top 5 thrash metal albums for me. This is so goddamn good, man. Oh my god, I love this album. Idolatry, I love the album cover as well. God, man, and this reissue is very cool because you can actually take the inner part of the album cover and pull it out. And you get this cover, the Devastation logo. And then you got lyrics on the back here, so it's really like practical. It's easy to like handle because then you pull out both the lyrics and the vinyl like in this one, and it's not like this flimsy piece of paper you have to pull back in. And this album is just, I don't know, it's just perfect in my eyes. I can't think of any negative thing to say about it. They have so many great riff ideas, but they never really overplay one of them or play one of them like for too little. Every riff is just given the right amount of time to breathe, and you know, the production on this album is just so fierce. It's got that Scott Burns production, which I just love. Man, the double kicks on this one, they just come out to beat you. And the guitars and the bass are just there to suffocate you. And one other thing this album has is it's just got hooks, man. The first track on this album, the hook on this thing is so good. Like, my life is evil, I'll bring you pain. I will deliver the suffering. It's also got this really catchy like bridge sections every now and then. Also the riffs that go along with the chorus is also just adds an extra touch to it that just makes it stick in your head. The title track Idolatry comes to mind when I think about that chorus. I gave you life, you choose to die, but now you're free, forsaking me, idolatry. And it's got this like stop-start riffing, which is just super catchy. It like gives you a couple jabs and hits you right in the stomach, and before you've even recovered for that, it just gives you an uppercut. Like, oh man, this is so good. Closer is great as well. Like every track on here is just amazing. Enjoy each track on this album almost equally as much. It's absolutely insane, and there's the guys. So yeah, Devastation, Idolatry. Definitely check this one out if you're into thrash metal. It's definitely like death thrash, I would say, but only because of the production. It's very traditional, mid-paced, kind of chunky thrash. It never gets super fast. Alright, now we got something different again from the last one. Trouble with their self-titled debut, or Psalm 9. This is actually says Psalm 9, but when I bought it, the picture said it was just like, it just said Trouble on it, because this album was released in '91 with the album title Psalm 9. So this could both be the self-titled debut or Psalm 9. Love the cover as well. I should really have just unwrapped this one. Can't really see that out well. But yeah, this is doom metal. Even if you aren't like into doom metal, don't be afraid to check this one out. Because this is really like, it's so much more than a doom metal album, I feel like. It's heavily pulling from those like 70s hard rock and heavy metal influences. So there's a bit something for everyone on this one. Really cool. It's excellently paced. You know, it's not droolingly slow all the time, but it is pretty retracted and like just crushing at times. The first track on here, The Tender, man, it has some of the best riffs I've ever heard. Like the way it's paced, oh my god, it's so good. Yes, Assassin, great track. Like every track on this album is just so great. The Fall of Lucifer, man, so good. End Time, oh my god, I love End Time. That's an instrumental, and it like opens up with this like kind of like galloping riffs and like solos, just super catchy. But then eventually it just like slows down to a crawl, and like it just gets slower and slower, and you're just like, right when you're afraid the song is already gonna end, the bass comes in and plays like this like real riff, and then all of the other instruments like join in, and the song just like it explodes and like picks back up where it like pretty much started with the solo work, but just, you know, into like this really grand riff. Oh man, In Time, it's such a good track. So this one's kind of slept on today, I feel like. But yeah, I don't really hear this one talked too much about today, which is a shame because it's honestly just an amazing album. Definitely check this one out, man. And the last record, which I actually picked up because I saw that the shop I was buying some 9 on had this one for pretty cheap, and I just had to get it, you know. Just saw this one pretty cheap, you know, gotta have it. Motörhead, Overkill. So my dad is like a big Motörhead fan, and you know, I also just like really like it as well. So I thought, you know, this was just something I gotta have, and like it's definitely, so far, this is my favorite like Motörhead album. I can't say that I've properly listened to all of their work because they have like a massive discography, but regardless, this is just a great album. Every track is really memorable on this thing. We got Lemmy here with the bullet build. Man, Lemmy, he was just a legendary person. A lot of people could like really learn a lot from him. Rest in peace, man. Just such an amazing guy. And it's also got like, you know, the title track Overkill, which obviously is pretty much proto thrash metal. A lot of people like state this specific song as like great inspiration to them, like people into the thrash. So obviously, I love this song. I love it. Stay clean, I won't pay your price. I'll be like, you know it. Like, it's just great tracks all around, you know. Damage Case, oh my god, so good. Don't really have a lot to say about this one. It's just so much fun. Just gotta have it, you know. So yeah, that's the record pickups I've made recently. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you at least check some of these out and, you know, find some new music you haven't heard of, because Numbskull and Devastation, like, they're like such underrated bands. Like Numbskull, I never see that one talked about. Get on that, get on it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you took something away from this video, got something out of it. Thank you all. Bye bye.